Hello, guys. We are here again talking about culture. 2 days ago, Bishop William Brown of the Boom Church, a descendant of Igbos, an African American, interviewed me. This guy comes from the 11th wealthiest community in the world. That's what the African American community is. The 11th richest community in the world. If they are a country, they will be the 11th richest country in the world. That's the strength of the African American economy. In spite of the fact that he comes from such a powerful community, throughout the interview, he kept on saying, "Brother Remy, what do we do about our culture?" He wanted to know how they would improve their culture. What does that tell us? It tells us that culture is very important. Culture is the engine room of society. How you know a society that is sick, how you know a society that has a bad culture is that society that is not healthy, that society that is not inventive, that society that does not create, that society that does not grow, that society that only complains all the time. That society that has essentially worked itself into trouble. That's how you know a society that its culture is bad. When we were practicing Omenana, we were second to none in the world. When we left Omenana or began to live Omenana, we became a people that anybody could subject and subdue. I will illustrate with just a point. Every Igbo in the world knows about Ehammiri, to make rain. I had a conversation last month with a brother. We wondered if any other people in the world make rain. There may be, but we don't know about such other people. But we know that Igbos make rain. When I was preparing for the funeral ceremony of my mother, a rainmaker came to my house and jocularly said, "Lawyer, I'm hungry." Because I respect the culture of my people, I said, "What should we do?" He demanded for some money. I gave him some money, and the rain did not fall because he did not make the rain. I've seen them make rain, and I think that it makes no sense for any Igbo to be saying that rainmaking does not work. We know that it works. But you know the interesting thing? I was informed recently that one country has made a drone that can make rain. Interestingly, or sadly, we are the people that are supposed to do that. That opportunity has gone again. One country is going to make a lot of money making drones that will make rain. I heard that the drone was tested at UAE this past week. We would say that Nigeria does not allow us to function. That's why we did not do it. But the question is, what stopped 15 wealthy Igbo Britons from coming together, registering a company, financing that company to make a drone that will make rain, or to find Igbo rain makers, bring them to the UK, where they will not be troubled by any hostile government, push them to produce. We don't think of these things again. But we are not going to stop talking about them, because if we stop talking about them, the slide will continue. And my fear is that our people think that today is bad. But if we don't take corrective measures, in the next 20 years, we'll be saying that in 2021, the Igbos were in paradise. Things cannot get better until we put a stop to the slide. What stopped us from financing a company in South Africa? There are wealthy Igbos there. There are Igbos that slaughter 20 cows if they lose somebody. Many of them. What stopped 20 of them from coming together, setting up a company, that can be productive. This guy that is making electric cars does not make them himself. He simply set up a company and get the best brains to work on them. Why are Igbos not thinking like this? Why? We are not thinking like this because we have left the culture that forced us to think like this. It was a culture that forced three friends to come together and form GMO. Likewise, it was a culture that forced a whole community Oko to set up Oko youths. It was culture, Omenana, that brought thousands of Igbos together and they formed People's Club. And believe you me, if we had not lost People's Club due to our criminal negligence, I know that People's Club will tell a governor, an Igbo governor, what to do. No Igbo governor would have dared to be messing up with People's Club around because it gathered together all the well-to-do and well-educated Igbos. But we have left the culture that forces us to do all these things. Interestingly, the typical Igbo thinks that America is great because America makes Ford Motors. But what forces Americans to make Ford Motors? We don't know about that. What forces Russia to be strong? Culture. What forces Germans to work very hard? Culture. Culture is behind everything. In our own case, we don't even have to copy. We have a culture that programs and projects and forges us to do everything great. The only problem we have is that we do not want to bend down and study that culture. We assume that we know it. If you are my follower, the greatest thing you can do for me is begin to study Omenana. No matter what it will take, begin to study Omenana. If you cannot get in touch with me directly, talk to Professor Francis Duru. Talk to Dr. Nzarabi Okechukwu Anoneke. Talk to any other Nzarabi of the Igbos you know. Talk to any leading member of Omenana Defenders. Find out ways you will start studying Omenana. If we have 1,000 Igbos that are committed, that want to stop dreaming, that want to stop hoping on fantasies, if we have 1,000 Igbos that are ready, study Omenana, to know what it means, to know that you wash your hands before you eat because of Omenana. You are inclined to work hard because of Omenana. You save money because of Omenana. You know you cannot say business from nothing to something because of Omenana. You will be disciplined because of Omenana. If we have 1,000 Igbos working in unison, they will galvanize the rest of the Igbos, and then in the next 5 years, we will cease being the complaining people in the world. And I will end by saying, if we don't do anything constructive, productive, the situation can only get worse. Thank you.